25, 26, and 27, we are going to graph something that's in standard form. You could go ahead and rearrange it and solve it for y, but you have to remember if you divide by a negative, you have to flip your inequality sign. So a lot of people make mistakes doing that. So I like to graph anything that's in standard form by finding my x and my y intercept. So I'm going to put 0 in for y, and then I'm going to put the 0 in for the x. Again, I'm going to pretend this is an equal. So I'm going to take 4x plus 3 times 0. Does that equal or equals negative 12? Again, when we do this, this is 0, cancels out. I divide by my 4, so negative 3 is my x-intercept. So I can put a dot on my x-axis at negative 3. Excuse me, my y-intercept, putting 0 in for the x. Excuse me, geez. All right, so 4 times 0 plus 3 times y equals negative 12. Again, pretending that's an equals. So this is 0. I'm going to divide by 3. Y equals negative 4. And so my y-intercept is at negative 4. Now this should all look really familiar to you because we did this in the chapter we did graphing. Again, on Alex, you have to draw a solid line, but then you want to check and say, oh, I really want that to be dashed. So I use my little tool and change my solid line to a dashed line instead. Now, in these ones, you can't just go by your inequality because you didn't go through the process of solving for y. So what we're going to do is test a point. You can test any point on your graph as long as it's not exactly on the line. I like to test the point 0, 0. A, I know where 0, 0 is, and B, it's easy to substitute in. So I take my original equation and put 0 in for x, 0 in for y. So 4 times 0 plus 3 times 0, is that less than a negative 12? Well, why did I use 0, 0? Because that makes this 0 and this 0, and so my whole side is 0. That's easy to do. Is 0 less than a negative 12? Is 0 less than a negative number? No, definitely not. So since 0 is not less than negative 12, you do not shade the 0, 0. So I don't want to shade where the 0, 0 is. I have to shade the other side of my equation, so I end up shading down here. Now I really could have tested a point 5, 7, or any point as long as it's not on the line that I have drawn. So usually I use 0, 0 unless my line happens to go right through 0, 0. Then I have to pick a different point to test. Number 26 then. Again, pretending that's negative x plus 3y equals 6 and finding my x and y intercept. So putting 0 in for y first. Negative x plus 3 times 0 equals 6. 6. This is 0. Negative x equals 6, so x is going to equal negative 6. My x-intercept going to be negative 6. Putting 0 in for x. Negative 0 plus 3y equals 6. That cancels out. I divide by 3. I get 2. 2 is my y-intercept. I've got my x-intercept and my y-intercept. I can draw my line. However, my line should have been dashed, so I have to change it to a dashed line after I draw it. Then I'm going to check on my shading. Again, I am going to test the point 0, 0 since my line doesn't go right through 0, 0. So negative 0 plus 3 times 0, is that less than 6? This would be 0, this would be 0. Is 0 less than 6? Is 0 less than a positive number? Yes. So I do shade the 0, 0. Here's where my 0, 0 is. I want that side shaded, and so I'm shading below my line. One more of those. So we are going to graph 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to negative 9, pretending that says 2x plus 3y equals negative 9, finding my x and my y intercept. So 0 in for y. 2x plus 3 times 0 equals negative 9. 2x equals negative 9, dividing by 2, x equals negative 9 over 2, or negative 4.5 if I simplify that. Now remember on Alex, to do that, you have to use the little tool that looks like this that says plot a point anywhere, and I'm going to plot the point negative 9/2, 0, and that's going to put my dot at negative 4.5. I'm going to estimate where it is. It's partway between negative 4 and negative 5, so it's somewhere between there. Then I'm going to go ahead and find my y-intercept, so I'm going to put 0 in for x. So 2 times 0 plus 3y equals negative 9. This one's going to come out a little nicer. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. So my y-intercept, negative 3. Draw my line. Check. Should stay solid because I do have the equal to underneath. Now I have to figure out my shading. Again, I'm going to check the point 0, 0. So 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0, is that greater than or equal to negative 9? So this is going to be 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 9? Is 0 greater than a negative number? Yes. So we do shade the side with the 0, 0. This is the side with my 0, 0. So that's the side that's going to end up getting shaded.